The moment the folder slid across the table, I knew what was inside. It wasn't paperwork, it was betrayal. Neatly typed, double-spaced, signed in advance. Mom sat across from me in that polished conference room like a queen at war. Her lawyer on her right, my uncle on her left, pretending to be neutral. Their eyes had the same shine, like predators mid-hunt. She smiled. "We just need you to sign, honey. It's a simple adjustment to the trust." I smiled back. "Funny," I said, laying my own folder on the table. "I brought my own." Then the door opened, and my attorney walked in. The room fell silent. It wasn't always like this. Once she used to braid my hair and kiss my forehead when I had nightmares. She packed my lunch, told me I was her smart girl, the one who'd make something of herself. And I did. Law school, business ownership, independence. Dad passed when I was 21, left me the lake house, the land, and a portion of his company shares directly to me, bypassing her. He knew her appetite for control. He left it clean. I thought she'd accept that. Instead, she waited, then struck. It started small, a call from her accountant asking for clarification on my assets. A cousin who mentioned, "My mother was handling your estate now, right?" And the kicker, a letter from the family lawyer asking for my signature on what he called routine consolidation. That's when the silence around her started to make sense. The family dinners that suddenly included her attorney. The stories about me being too busy to manage real property, how she was just helping. She wasn't helping, she was moving pieces, and I was her checkmate. Until I flipped the board. I didn't confront her. Emotion makes noise. I made moves. First, I hired my own counsel, someone quiet, surgical, cold-blooded, the kind who could slice through any clause she buried in fine print. Then I audited everything Dad left me, not just the will, the titles, the shareholder agreements, the land surveys. Turns out she'd been working to quietly shift authority of the trust into her hands, claiming I was mentally unfit to manage financial matters due to extreme stress. She even submitted a sealed affidavit, said I had breakdowns, anxiety, paranoia. Interesting, since I hadn't spoken to her in months. We traced everything. Her attempts to reallocate funds, the meetings she had with her lawyers, the subtle intimidation, freezing my accounts, sending letters implying legal action if I didn't cooperate. She thought I'd come unprepared. She thought she still knew the little girl she raised. She didn't realize that girl had grown teeth. So when she invited me to the family meeting at the law firm downtown, I agreed. I dressed simple, no jewelry, no theatrics. Let her think I was walking into a trap. She played it sweet. "Just clearing up legal loose ends," she said. Her lawyer handed me a pen. I didn't even look at the document. I said, "Funny, I brought my own." And when my attorney walked in, everything changed. He laid out the documents like a surgeon preparing scalpels. A motion to dissolve her claim of mental instability, backed by psychiatric evaluations, doctor testimonies, and surveillance records showing her spreading falsehoods. A petition for full control of my inheritance, under a clause in the trust that activated upon evidence of manipulation. And the nail in the coffin, evidence she'd siphoned funds from the trust into a private account in the Caymans. I watched the color drain from her face. Watched her lawyer lean back, slowly realizing they hadn't come to a meeting, they'd walked into a reckoning. Mom's voice cracked first. "You don't understand what you're doing." I tilted my head. "No, I understand exactly." Her mask broke then. The warmth fell away. What was left wasn't a mother. It was a woman who lost control. "You were always ungrateful," she spat. "Everything I did was to protect you." "No," I cut her off. "Everything you did was to own me." She didn't say another word. She just stared, like she was trying to find the version of me she could still manipulate. But that version died the second she forged my father's signature on a property transfer form. We had that too, by the way. She'll see it in court. It didn't end with screaming. It ended with silence. My attorney gathered the papers. Hers asked for a recess. I stood up, looked at her one last time. "You had a daughter," I said quietly. "Now you have an opponent." Then I walked out. 3 weeks later, the judge froze her access to the trust. She lost control of the company shares. The Cayman account was reported. She'll probably get indicted. Maybe not, but she won't touch a single cent of mine again. Not legally, not psychologically. I live lighter now. My lawyer says she